briefly this morning about a project that I've been working on for several years and just rejoined the project this year. The project's called Texas After Violence Project, and we are a human rights and restorative justice project that studies the effects of different forms of violence. We're particularly interested in murder and the death penalty, and we study the effects of violence on individuals, families, and communities. Our mission is to build a digital archive of oral histories and other historical materials that serve as resources for both community dialogue and public policy to promote nonviolent ways to both prevent and respond to violence. Since we started our project in 2007, we've documented several hundred hours of oral history interviews. The interviews range from a topic of narrators, from family members of people who've been executed to murder victim survivors, prosecutors, capital defense attorneys and habeas attorneys, judges, jurors, investigators, just kind of a wide range of people who are involved in the long capital punishment process. And it's really quite a collection. In a second, I'll come down and just scroll through our digital archive. Through a partnership with UT Libraries, a lot of these stories are publicly available through the Human Rights Documentation Initiative. And I think it's interesting that we are able to add our stories, which mostly focus on Texas, within a wider international collection of organizations doing human rights work. So let me just step down real quickly and scroll through the archive. We're in the process of adding a whole other group of stories that, there's a long consent process, which I won't go into, but sometimes it takes years to get the stories from when we actually conduct them to when we can actually share them publicly online. So this is our site here, and just to show you how great this tool is, I'll just click on one of them. So you get the video of the interview, and then the transcript runs right alongside of it. And then there's all these other metadata that we're also updating as well. So you can see, we basically break up the interviews into certain topics, and then you can even search by location or by individuals or topics mentioned in the interview. So they're actually a really interesting resource. And yesterday, it was interesting when I was here listening to some of the panels, hearing some of the panelists talk about the effects that the long process has on people, whether it's the victim survivors or the family members of the defendant, even the prosecutors and the defense attorneys. They were talking about the kind of effects that it has on them. And so this is precisely something that our project is trying to document. So I'd encourage you all to check out our website and to scroll through the digital archive. And like I said, we're in a process right now. In the next probably 6 months, we'll be adding several new interviews to the archive.
So we do have time for a few questions for Gabe if y'all want to hear any more or give him thoughts or ideas. So I can bring if anyone has, or we've got a smaller group so you might be able to hear each other.
I was also going to say, if you have any questions, you can find, I'll be here most of today and some of tomorrow. Also, visit our website, or if you want to share your story or think you know someone who might want to share their story, let me know.
Great. I mean, we have a little bit of extra if you want to show a brief clip of any. I don't know if there's one that's a quickie that we can do, but then we could try that.
After doing that in 1978, many prisoners who were self-educated in the legal system, they call them writ writers, were making complaints and sending them to Judge William Wayne Justice. And so Judge Justice decided to consolidate their complaints into one class action suit against the Texas prison system called Ruiz. That was one of the writ writers, David Ruiz, versus Estelle. And Mr. Estelle was the chair of the board of directors of the prison system. So this class action suit began in 1978, but
I'll pass you back. Question about data about the impacts.
You know, so what we haven't done a great job yet is asking educators and researchers and advocates how they use our archive. And so we just launched a new website last night, partly in preparation for this conference. My colleague Walter Long is going to be speaking tomorrow as well about the project. And so on our new website, we built in a form asking the public or educators or people who are using the archive to just let us know how they're using it. We've collaborated with educators in the past few years who've used the archive in very creative ways in their courses and in their lesson plans, but I would like to know more about how people use that. I was actually reading an article not that long ago and went to the footnotes and saw that the author had cited one of our interviews. So we're always happy to see people using it. We, as an organization, we'd like to know more about how they are doing that. So.